Alright friends, today doing a sort of update video on how I feel about my bike, 2021 Trek Slash 98 XT. After, I think it's been about 8 or 9 months of ownership. Alright, so hear me out. This thing really does fly downhill. It's slack, it's long, it's got 29-inch wheels. You point this thing down a hill, you're flying. Oh yeah. Charges over Chunder. That being said, it has a relatively short reach per size. The cockpit feels pretty stout, not in a bad way though. It's comfortable. You really feel like you're on top of the bike, you're in control of the bike. It doesn't feel like you're stretched out on some fighter jet. And what that does is it gives it a super playful feel at speed. Yeah, buddy. Oh, a little rowdy. Through the tree. Oh. Yeah, buddy. This bike just flies. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're doing a tight XC trail, this bike is certainly not playful, but for its size and stature, it's super controllable and really fun to just throw around and bounce around and, you know, do everything but straight line the trail. It's so long and like just this massive enduro machine, but the reach is relatively short for each side, so you kind of get this real like jibby, maneuverable feel from it, and at speed it's super playful. Ew. And Trek suspension design, love it or hate it, is amazing off the lip. Ew. Ew. I don't know who built all these lips, but they freaking suck. Oh, that shit's blown out. Ew. Not only that, but as a long slack 29er enduro bike, it actually pedals really well. The seat tube angle, I believe, is 75.5, so it's not crazy steep, but the suspension is really minimal bob, and the rear shock that comes on this bike locks out rock solid. And I mean, when you lock out this shock, it feels like a hardtail. Even compared to a DPX2, which is well known to have pretty good lockout, especially compared to a Float X2 or especially compared to a DHX2, but we all know that. And having ridden a Santa Cruz, I gotta give them props for their suspension being so plush when you're just charging down gnarly, rocky, rooty sections. But I think because of that, it sacrifices a little bit of pop. And I've talked to some friends about this, about how all Santa Cruzes kind of feel like a couch, which is not a bad thing at all, especially for the trails in Santa Cruz. I mean, they're rowdy, and you want that plushness when you're charging really gnarly, rocky trails, of which there are a lot out here. But the suspension on the Slash just has this pop, this playful pop. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. And it feels great off a lip, which is awesome because I really love dirt jumping and just getting in the air. That's kind of how I started biking, was just the love of jumps. So what this suspension sacrifices in just pure downhill charging ability, for me at least, makes up for in extra bounce, a little extra pop, a little extra fun, just playfulness. I feel like I'm kind of overusing that word, but the best one I can think of. I think I have two main gripes with this bike. Primarily the fact that the XT build comes with SLX brakes. The issue with SLX brakes is the wandering bite point is especially bad with them, and they seem to need to be bled more often than XTs. That being said, I think since Shimano is, 300 days out on pretty much every product, that was most likely a decision by Trek to be able to get the bike to people. Since the XTs are Shimano's most popular brake, they didn't exactly have the stock necessary. Another issue I've had with this bike is this bearing right here in the ABP system has a tendency to slide out, and the only way I managed to fix it was actually put Loctite around it and push it in. I had to re-press it about 3 times before I did the Loctite. My friend has an Orbea Occam, which also has the rear pivot being concentric with the axle. And he told me he has the same issue where this bearing kind of slides out. Not really slides out, but rather this chainstay slides in. So yeah guys, that's what I gotta say about this bike. It's just a great all-arounder. This bike just balances long, slack, 29er enduro machine with this playful, efficient pedaling gibber. And I really enjoy it. I like this bike. I like how it feels off lips. I like how it feels when I'm throwing it around. I think a lot of big bikes these days inspire a lot of confidence, but you're really more of a passenger. And I like that this bike has a bit of a shorter reach relative to some other bikes in its class, and that kind of gives you this controlling feel where you're really over the bike and you really have control of the cockpit, and it allows you to play with it. It really just balances everything I look for out of a bike. Super fast downhill, super stable, really confidence inspiring, but still controllable, playful, super fun off a lip, and a good pedaler. So yeah guys, thank you for watching. Sorry for talking your ear off, and I hope you guys have a good day. Peace.